Fan Sports Network.
Yeah, I mean, Snow Canyon did play down in the Mesa, Arizona tournament, but they only go 1-3. That's why they're just 7-5. Meanwhile, Crimson had really good success, but they haven't played since the Coach Walk Classic. They didn't have any games between Christmas and New Year's, so you wonder about rust. But you also love the rest, especially where, Trevor Taylor was a little nicked up with Achilles that was bugging him, and Jordan Eaton still nursing a couple ankle sprains that are lingering from football season.
Well, and some big news, Devin. Phoenix McWillis will not even suit up tonight with an illness. Apparently been sick for a couple of days, talked to a couple of the kids early before the game, and doesn't look like he's going to be on the floor at all tonight. So that's going to be a huge hole for the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. And I'm really excited to see what Owen Mackey, this will be the second time I've seen him live. I think certainly we're going to see some great basketball tonight to open up the region slate.
Yeah, Owen Mackey worth the price of admission. I fell in love with Owen Mackey last year as a sophomore, just trying to get into the flow of the team. He's always under control, not out of control. He's very unselfish, but this summer he lit up the scoreboard. In the AAU circuit, he was averaging probably almost close to 30 points a game. That's carried over in the high school season. You love to see his numbers. 29 minutes a game, averaging 23.5 points per game, almost 6 defensive rebounds and 2.2 offensive rebounds per game. Plus, he's a guy that can really, really do a lot of things with the distribution. I mean, almost 2 assists a game, so he's unselfish. I think I learned the most about him when they played St. Joe's, and they won by 70 points, and he did not score. It could have been a stat sheet filler for Owen Mackey. He probably could have dropped 40 or 50. He just facilitated. I think he had 11 rebounds and 10 assists, didn't care about his scoring statistics, and that's why a lot of people, I think, at the collegiate level are going to get a good one, because I think he's a D1 talent.
Well, and I talked to a D1 coach a couple of weeks ago. He saw him play down, I don't know if it was in Vegas or I think it was down in Vegas. And he said to me, he just looks so smooth. And I think that's a great way to describe him. He moves well without the basketball. He makes the right play. He can shoot it. And his explosiveness and bounce is I think, the best in the region.
And it is the bounce versus more of a little bit of a power guy in Jordan Eaton. You look at Jordan Eaton's numbers this year, right at 20 points per game. He's hit a couple buzzer beaters. I mean, my goodness, in the Coach Walk Classic, the whole town was buzzing about what he did in a comeback victory in overtime.
Yeah, we got a chance to call that game, and that was an incredible last-second performance, a half quarter to tie the game and send it into overtime. I think at one point he scored 9, I think he ended up with 11 straight points to finish off the regulation and into overtime. But, Jordan's one of those guys, I've said it before, he's just such a great athlete that he's going to make something happen that's going to be positive out there on the basketball court. And so this is an interesting matchup right out of the gate. I think you're going to see the finesse and system offensively of Snow Canyon against the defense and the hustle and that kind of, it almost reminds me a little bit of Memphis, kind of that grit and grind where, by halftime you look up, you expect to see them down, and they're down 3 points, and it feels like they should be down 20. They just never get out of a game.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Warriors at home. School actually starts tomorrow, so it'll be really interesting. But they've already got the student session packed in, 6 or 7 rows deep, and we still got 14, 15 minutes before the tip-off. Crimson student section starting to fill up a little bit. It's only going to build from here, but this is a marquee matchup in Region 10 basketball tonight. The other matchups, if you want to watch Dixie host Hurricane, you can go to our website, the Fan Sports Network. That's where that game will be. You can also watch this game if you're listening on radio right on our website, thefansportsnetwork.com. We'll have updates on Desert Hills and Cedar all night long as well. And then we'll be bringing you Hurricane and Desert Hills. That'll be our game Friday night from over there at Desert Hills High School and the Thunderdome. Oh, Mackey, just a little 1-foot, 2-hand flush looking oh so smooth like you just talked about. Again, the 7-5 Snow Canyon Warriors, the 6-3 Mustangs. Take a 2-minute timeout. More of the Findlay Subaru pregame show when we come back to the jungle on the Fan Sports Network.
Appliance Wholesalers Plus are the playmakers in the appliance business. Need new appliances? Then stop by their showroom and save money and buy right from the distributors at AWP. They are open to the public across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. And stay tuned for the AWP Playmaker of the Game.
For over 65 years, we have been part of your community, and we work to make a difference for every member, every day. And while our name is changing, our commitment to you is not. Find out how it's getting even better here. Welcome to You First. Visit us at youfirstcu.com.
Hey everybody, Jason Baum here with Bay Equity Home Loans. Give me a call. Let's get you truly educated on what's really going on and how you can take advantage of this current market.
Bay Equity LLC, NMLS 76988 and 12526390, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Fabulous Freddy's always keeps your car fabulous. Only full-service car wash in town. Voted best of Southern Utah. Stop by Bluff or River Road for detail services like shampoos or waxes. Don't forget, with every wash, get 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Fabulous Freddy's.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatrics Dentistry are game changers. Take advantage now of the new patient special, which includes x-ray exam and cleaning for one low price. Call to schedule your appointment today at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 656-0511.
Findlay Subaru is a proud sponsor of Region 10 basketball. They work hard to be active in the community and have received the 2022 Subaru Love Promise Customer and Community Commitment Award. Come reserve your new Subaru at Findlay Subaru on the saving side of the freeway or findlaysubaru.com.
Morgan Pest Control has been killing what bugs you since 1962. Morgan continues to give back to the community with the 60 for Schools program. You can call 673-9172 or go to morganpestcontrol.com and just look for their red trucks. Rally Stop in Cedar City is proud to support Region 10 athletics. Rally Stop reminds you that after cheering on your favorite team, there's no better place to refuel than Rally Stop. Rally Stop, swing on in today.
Welcome back to the jungle, Snow Canyon High School. Early January tilt could be a potential postseason matchup. The state tournament this year will be up in Logan, Cache Valley country, and these two teams hope to be there at the end. Of course, the Warriors are the defending state champs, and even though they're 7-5, you look at some tough opponents. They go down to Mesa, like I mentioned earlier, just 1-3, and they played some really good teams with 6'10", 6'11" type size. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist here, our title sponsor of High School Hoops here on the Fan Sports Network, brought to you by the Boulevard, making your house a home for over 48 years. And Ben, Crimson is just a tough team to go against. I've heard a lot of coaches say on any given night, that's a scary matchup. They just bring the energy, and they will never stop fighting until the final whistle.
Well, and we've talked about it in our earlier coverage of these guys. They just have that football mentality where they just outwork you. And again, we've said it all season. You look up, you're like, well, we should be pulling away, and there they are. They never go away. And I think you attribute a lot of that to the football players. They also just played in the state championship game too, 4 or 5 of the guys on the squad. So this is a really intriguing matchup because, I've had a couple people ask me, who's going to win tonight? And I said, I just don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Snow Canyon is always more of a tempo style program, and Crimson is more of just like, all right, we're going to hustle on defense, we're going to rebound offensively, and we're going to hope that we get a guy going hot tonight. Again, I talked about a few minutes ago, not having Phoenix McWillis, a bigger player, a more athletic player, a guy that I think in the last game we did, I think he had 18 or 20 points. And so it's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure who they'll start in that spot. Maybe a Trevor Taylor. We haven't seen him since the opening weekend of high school basketball. So there's a big hole for Crimson right now. But in talking to some of the guys before the game, they're excited for the opportunity to step up and to go out and get this one tonight.
McWillis, 9.6 points per game. So certainly not averaging 21.6 like Jordan Eaton, but got to find that 10 points from somebody else, maybe a collective effort.
Exactly. You're going to need to pick that up from a couple of guys, have somebody get a little bit hot. He's one of their only guys, I think, other than Jordan and maybe Scoop Johnson, that's actually had a three-pointer. So, he gives you a little bit of shooting. I think in the last game we did, Dev, he had 2 or 3 threes. He's a little more explosive and just gives you some athleticism and size. And so, I think in watching Snow Canyon over the years and knowing Coach Meacham's kind of style, they're going to make them work on defense. They're going to try and milk as much as they can out of the shot clock and take advantage of transition buckets. That, I think, is going to be one of the keys to the game when we get to that point, is just that transition for Snow Canyon.
Closing in on less than 8 minutes away from the starting lineups and the tip-off. Again, this is the Findlay Subaru pregame show. Let's dive into some more of the keys to the game. I think the three-point shot has kind of changed the last 10-plus years. Snow Canyon, you kind of mentioned it. Crimson doesn't have a lot of pure three-point shooters. Snow Canyon has some snipers, guys like Cy Meacham that's worked really hard on his craft. Owen Mackey, really good three-point shooter. Will that be a factor tonight?
I think so. I mean, as you look down there and you see these guys shooting, you're seeing the net being, balls going through the net on fire just because these guys really focus on the three-pointer. And I got a lot of guys that put in time over the summer. You mentioned a few of them. And so, to me, I think this is going to be where can Crimson pick up that 10 or 12 points that you're talking about, and can Snow Canyon enforce their will with their kind of methodical half-court offense and then get out in transition? Because if you can't rebound the basketball, you can't get into transition. And if Snow Canyon gets into transition, look out because of the explosiveness of a few of their guys.
I remember Cy Meacham. We have our high school all-star game, which we're going to have, I believe, March 25th this year. Now that we're turning the page to 2023. It's a senior all-star game. It's kind of a state UHSAA rule. But we allow underclassmen to compete in the dunk and the three-point contest. Cy Meacham was last year's three-point shootout winner. So I expect...
Well, we've been watching him for 5 or 10 minutes, and I don't think he's left the volleyball line over there on the left side just casting threes. He's a guy that he's got his feet set. He's ready. When he gets the ball, it's like Coach Wright at Villanova. He always would say, you're never more open than when you catch the ball. And I think you're going to see a guy like Cy Meacham go, all right, I catch the ball, and if they even step back a little bit, my first instinct is to shoot it.
It'll be fun tonight. We'll be tracking the threes. We'll look at the pace, some of the keys. Brought to you by, again, Finley Subaru. They work hard to be an integral part of our community. They just got the 2022 Subaru Love Promise Customer and Community Commitment Award. So go check out and reserve your new Subaru at Finley Subaru on the saving side of the freeway. The size of Crimson. Last year, Snow Canyon had all the size. Bowen Hammer, 6'6". Lyman Simmons, 6'9". Well, they both transferred. Bowen's at Fairmont Prep in California. Lyman Simmons is now up at Real Academy up north. In fact, they just played the Dixie Flyers, and it was him versus Lemke over the holiday break. And so, Snow Canyon not as big as they were last year. Bear Levitt, they've been bringing along slow with some injuries. So you've got Eaton at 6'5". You've got Hunter Johnson, Houston Johnson, who's 6'7", and looks a lot more fluid this year. Looks like he's filling out his body a lot more.
We've talked about him, Devin. He's going to be that guy that just gets better and better and better as the season goes on. And probably when he gets a year out of high school, he's going to grow another 2 inches and really fill into his body. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup because you have the size and a little bit of the physicality of Crimson. And last year, every time you look at the court from an athletic standpoint, from a shooting standpoint, Snow Canyon had the advantage. But here's what I think, Dev. Snow Canyon are still the 4A defending state champions. They've got that swagger. They know how to win a close game. And they, I think, have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder for people saying, oh, well, they lost those two guys. And Dixie's has got Lemke and a couple of those other style of players. So I think Snow Canyon this is an important first game for them. I think it's going to show us a lot about where the region is, and if Crimson can have an opportunity to step into that 2 or 1 spot with Dixie, I think, at the top.
Coach Fairborn is in his first year, but he was with Coach Winters as an assistant since Crimson opened, so he's very familiar, but he's kind of made it a pretty smooth transition for the Mustangs. Coach Meacham, this is his 5th year coming down from American Fork, and of course the state championship last year. Usually when region play rolls around, scoring starts to drop. There's been a lot of high-scoring games in the non-conference part of the schedule, and now you get these crosstown rivalries. The defense usually gets ratcheted up.
Well, we talked a little bit early in the season where this is the first year of a shot clock in high school basketball for the state of Utah, and now we get into region, and we said early on in the season, it's like, yeah, it really doesn't have that big of a factor. You'll probably have a couple of possessions where it comes down to the shot clock, and you might see a rush shot. But, Dev, I think this is going to be a one where you're going to see, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter, where they're trying to squeeze out a few more seconds in the shot clock, and we might see that be a bigger factor than it's been in the first half of the season.
Boulevard Home bringing you high school coverage. Both teams quickly went in the locker room. Snow Canyon, just a quick pep talk maybe from Coach Meach, quick cheer, final instructions. They're already back out on the floor. Mustangs will be back out momentarily. And then we'll have our starting lineups and our national anthem and get you some high school hoops here on the Fan Sports Network. Excited to bring you coverage all season long through the state championship on the live stream. Again, just a reminder, if you're listening on radio, you're going home for the night, you can pull it up, thefansportsnetwork.com. I learned about 2 or 3 years ago you can do that screen mirroring, and you can put it right to your smart TV.
Cast it up on the TV.
Cast it up on the TV. Matt Hamlin's our video producer tonight. We got Gage, our stat man tonight. We got Connor and Rory back in the studio. All hands on deck.
We got the full squad tonight, Dev.
Big time. We're ready to go. The first of 2 games tonight, if you're looking for Dixie versus Hurricane, that game also viewable on our website. Ryan Forsey is calling the action in that game. And then Friday night, we'll have Desert Hills versus Hurricane right here on the simulcast as well. So busy week for us. 3 games coming straight at you here on the Fan Sports Network.
Yeah, and Dev, I think this is going to be similar to that first week that we were calling on the games, where I think you're going to see maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe a few more turnovers. I know they've played for a month and a few days already, but I think first region game, this is a big matchup.
Moratorium, so you had to take some time off.
Moratorium, yeah, so you got guys that maybe weren't, conditioning could be a little bit of a factor. I think we could see some hands on the shorts, tugging those shorts a little bit, but I think one of the things we're going to see is a few more turnovers than we saw a couple weeks ago, a few more rush shots. And then once they settle in, I think we're going to see a really exciting second half of basketball.
A couple things to watch for tonight. We've got our Her Stores Player of the Game. We'll pick the Playmaker Player of the Game, brought to you by Appliance Wholesalers Plus. If we get a dunk.
I think we're getting a dunk tonight.
Hey, Big Sean from Crimson had one in the JV games. Sean Feld. So if we get one, it's brought to you by House of Jump. Everybody gets 1 hour free jump time. We'll tell you how you can get your hands on that if it happens. So we've got the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert tonight in effect. We love our local partnerships with our great sponsors. If we get over 55 points from either team, everybody can stop at the St. George Yogurtland on the way home till they close. Get 5 ounces free yogurt for everybody. That's in effect. Boys, girls games all season long in Region 10. Love it.
Huge shout out to Holbrook. Those guys do such a great job. That HA5. I think you and I, maybe after the game, I think this thing's getting to 55. I think
so.
We're stopping. We're going to load up with our, what do we get, 4 ounces? 5 ounces?
5 ounces.
5 ounces.
Yep.
Jeez.
Tell you what. Then during football season, I took my wife and my 2 daughters, 2 of the 3 in. So we had 4 yogurts. And I think I paid an extra $1.50, and my kids loaded them up with the cheesecake and the strawberries and the sprinkles and all the toppings that the kids
I've heard
like.
they've had to warn you in there. It's like, come on, Dev.
Well, you just pay for whatever over you are, so you really don't have to worry too much. So we'll tell you if that happens as well. We're closing in on the tip-off again. Pregame has been brought to you by Finley Subaru. Go check out the all-star lineup on the savings side of the freeway. And let's get final thoughts from you, Ben. Both teams seem loose. Both teams seem all business, though. I don't see a lot of guys laughing and smiling. Everybody's trying to get those final reps in.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those games that really sets the tone for the rest of the region season. Obviously, nobody's out, win or lose, but I think this is one of those games that if you're Crimson, I think this is Crimson's opportunity to set the tone for their region season. I think Snow Canyon, I think you're going to see they're going to be the more experienced team in this. They're going to be the more finesse team. I think if Crimson can come out and impose their will from the physicality side, I think this could be an interesting game. I don't think this is going to be a blowout, Devin. I think this is going to be similar to the JV game before that, where it kind of comes down to a couple of possessions late in the fourth quarter. Whoever can make free throws, whoever can finish it off with a block out and a rebound, will win this game.
You look at the non-conference, that's in the rearview mirror. Flyers have the best overall record. They're 10-2. Desert Hills is 7-3. This Crimson Cliffs Mustang team, they're 6-3. Snow Canyon is at 7-5. Cedar, they went 5-4. Hurricane went 2-6, and Pineview just 1-7. But they got some playmakers and could be a dangerous team. I think they're going to continue to get better as they move forward.
And I think at this point, you throw those records out.
You kind of do.
0-0. These guys are going, okay, let's start with the region championship. Let's move on to the state championship from there.
Yep, no question about it. We're closing in. The American flag is dropped down from the ceiling here. The crowd is going to get on their feet, and we are going to close in on tip-off. We're going to take a quick break for our national anthem. We'll come back. We'll get you the starters, and we'll play some Region 10 basketball on a Showdown Wednesday night here on the Fan Sports Network.
Buckle up, Southern Utah High School hoop fans. Craig Bullerjack here, reminding you to head to Yogurtland.
It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org. Camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
From bold statements to subtle compliments, Wilkinson's House of Lighting will help you more fully enjoy all the different spaces in your home. Stop in and see what's new at Wilkinson's House of Lighting, a proud sponsor of Region 10 Athletics.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Cheesesteak?
All right, welcome back to the jungle. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist, Scoop Johnson getting introduced for the Mustangs. Starting point guard, big task for him tonight. Will Warner probably the primary defender on him. There's Jordan Eaton, still Barbin. It will be Taylor that gets the start tonight. I talked to him briefly. I said, how's that Achilles? He said, feeling 100%. And then big Houston Johnson, the final starter for Coach Kent Fairborn in his first year. And the Mustangs will circle up and watch the light show here at the jungle.
Well, I think from an athleticism standpoint, Trevor's a super great athlete. I think when you talk to him versus like a Phoenix McWillis, I think you lose some size and maybe some shooting, but I think it's, I think, again, where are they gonna get the extra 10 or 12 points? And I think by the end of the game, that'll determine who's won this thing.
Yeah, little Guns N' Roses. I mean, the crowds, the students, it just keeps getting better and better as far as pregame introductions. I mean, it's not the United Center in Chicago, but it's pretty good for St. George High School hoops.
The crazy thing is this is probably the stuff they were using in the United Center for MJ's days. And high schools now have it. We got shot clocks, we got Hamlin on the producer truck. I mean, we got it all now.
There is Luke Hamlin getting introduced. Here comes Cy Meacham. There's your backcourt, the two guards. And Bear Levitt now getting introduced. And then we'll see Will Warner and Owen Mackey. They are cousins, and they have a pretty good chemistry together. There's Will Warner, and he'll do about anything you ask him to do. Just an all-around three-sport athlete. Not a lot of three-sport athletes left because a lot of kids are specializing nowadays.
Yeah, that's a unique high school player nowadays, Devin. And Will's dad, a great high school basketball player, great athlete. I think you see some of that passed down and that court awareness and just the ability to make the right play at the right time. But look, the guy that I can't wait to watch tonight is Owen Mackey. You can't wait to see what he does. You cannot, if you're Crimson, let him get going. That's a guy that if you can hold him, but if you let him string a couple together, you'll look up and he'll have 18 before you know it.
All right, that's your starting lineups brought to you by House of Jump. And again, perfect for your kid's birthday party. Don't get mad at the kids if they're bouncing off the walls. Just take them to House of Jump. It's encouraged at House of Jump on Dixie Drive. And, of course, if the dunk of the game comes, we'll let you know you can get 1 hour free jump time. Jump ball in the air, and it's won by the Mustangs wearing red, working right to left on your radio dial. Warriors wearing the home whites with the green numbers. Barbin on the wing, guarded by Hamlin. Little shake and bake. Floater. Got it. Still Barbin. That was a pretty move.
Great play. Led the high release. Avoided the oncoming defender. He's just such a good athlete. I mean, you talk about a region MVP in football, steps into the basketball court, and at this point, it looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
So a 2-0 lead for the Mustangs. And here comes a dribble drive to the middle. Kick out to Meacham. Will pass on the 3. Gets right to the middle of the key. Up and under with the left hand. We're tied 2-2.
Great move. I love, you don't see that a lot in high school basketball anymore. The jump stop, pivot, reverse pivot, up and under. Guys want to shoot it so fast.
Very good patience, and Meacham has deadlocked it. So both teams perfect from the field on their opening possession. Scoop Johnson to the middle. Stolen away by Meacham.
And this has plagued Crimson a little bit all year, is just the turnovers. When they have a low turnover ratio, they play so much better.
And really good transition defense at least, though. And so Meacham had to pull it out, and they'll work the half-court offense. Now the shot clocks here at Snow Canyon must be missing a part.
Oh, wow.
They are not on tonight. So they're one of the schools, and there's many out there, Pineview's another one, that doesn't have all the right parts. So we do not have a shot clock in effect tonight.
And I think, Dev, that totally favors Snow Canyon, as they know how to maximize a possession.
Good turnaround, Jay. Cy Meacham has all 4 points. Really good stuff.
Well, if you're Coach Meacham right now, you're thinking, okay, great. If we're getting into the paint, we're getting easy buckets, that's going to set up a lot of the other stuff that comes after.
Here comes Bear Levitt. Lob it high, alley-oop to Hamlin. Got it. That was pretty.
Tell you what, if you're Coach Fairborn right now, you're going, guys, we talked about this. Let's get a couple quality possessions. But 3 possessions, 2 turnovers, and an almost third.
Here comes Johnson, ankle-breaking play. Warner hits the deck. Scoop will take a 3. That won't go. Rebound, Mackey. He wants to run. Owen. Turnaround. Jay, everybody left him, but he short-armed it out of bounds back to Crimson.
I don't think he thought he'd be that open. He turned around, looked around, and it looked like everyone vacated the premises.
6-2, Warriors lead.
Jordan Eaton there, he's going to be one of the guys that's got to get going. And again, this is what we talked about, Dev. Early on in this, you're going to see some sporadic players. We watched Cy Meacham there with the long-distance three-pointer. You do not want to see him get going. Taylor at the top. He's looking inside again. They're trying to get it inside to this high post to try and create out of there. Couple wild shots. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Coach Fairborn, if they get a bucket right here, you're going to see an early timeout. Could have probably called something there. I like it when the refs kind of let stuff go, and I think you're going to see as Coach Fairborn's down there saying, guys, settle in a little bit.
Apologize. We had some technical. I guess our internet's back out of the radio at the radio station. They're working on getting that internet back up, so we'll continue on for our television audience here. But our producer back in studio letting us know we lost our radio feed. We're going to get that back up momentarily. In the meantime, 9-2, Warriors at home.
And,
out to a good
four
start.
turnovers. 4 turnovers. It's again, it's the story. And you don't want to on the road turn the ball over because that allows for some easy baskets. As we see, is that Hamlin there? No, that's Will Warner.
Will.
Got it.
Will the Thrill, the student section, definitely making some noise here in the jungle. The Mustangs got a good contingent, but they haven't had a lot to cheer about since that opening bucket.
Yeah, and again, I think you'll see a timeout here if they don't get a good possession here.
Barber's going to take matters into his own hands. Blocked out of bounds by Hamlin, but I think they got him on the wrist, and it's a foul on Luke Hamlin. Take a look at that on the replay if we have it. That was a lot of ball, but maybe on the way down he did get him on the elbow. Hard to see that live.
Yeah, and I just in kind of watching Crimson right now, I think Coach Fairborn's like, all right, let's let him play through this a little bit, maybe go to the bench a little bit here, get some energy from Jay Sweeten, who's subbing in right now. And again, it's hard for Trevor Taylor, who he has been in a little bit out of shape, out of condition. He hasn't quite been there. And so it's one of those things that, you're looking at the bench early thinking, guys, we got to stabilize and get a couple of more quality possessions to get through this.
Here's Meacham, flips it over to the side. Now to Owen Mackey. Mackey thought about a triple, pulls off. Shot won't go. Bear Levitt trying to get a tip. Houston Johnson, good strong rebound. He wants to run across half court. Whip pass to Barbin. He'll hoist a 3 and hit it. Big 3 there.
That's a huge 3. Again, you look up at the score, it feels like they're already down 15 and they're only down 5 now with a little bit of momentum finally.
You First Credit Union, 3-pointer by Still Barbin. And he's off to a good start, but he needs some help.
Yeah, we're seeing Drake Harrell going to the scorer's table right now to check in. Coach Fairborn's talking to him saying, hey, look, get us into something on offense. Let's not turn the ball over. Let's be solid. Defensively, work hard. And so obviously not going the way that Crimson wanted to on the road at Snow Canyon, but they're only down 5, and they're in transition now with a chance to make it down 3 or maybe even a little less.
Yeah, Will Warner took a step back, corner 3, left a little bit short. Barber, hesitation move, kicks it to Sweeten. Sweeten trying to whip past, it's deflected and stolen away. There's another turnover.
5 turnovers now in less than, that's a turnover a minute. It's hard. As a coach, you'd say, look, we'll take a bad shot versus another turnover. At least we can, at least we can have an opportunity to make something.
Welcome back to our radio audience. Apologize for the internet connectivity issues. There's a 3 as the Warriors lead 11-6, and that one won't go for Cy Meacham. Warriors up by 5, 2:32 left here in the first quarter. Action-packed first quarter. Play-by-play brought to you by Luke Udy at American Family Insurance. He's got your life, auto, health insurance all under one roof. Luke Udy, American Family Insurance. Stats tonight brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors. We'll be getting some stats for you as this
Dev,
game goes.
you love to see these guys. These local businesses support our local athletes and schools. It's so great to see.
Another turnover by the Mustangs, though. That is a reoccurring theme. Coach Fairborn is just standing there, arms crossed. Number 6 by our count. Warriors going to work offensively. Out tops Will Warner. And it's still, here comes Scoop, easy left-hand lane, oh yeah. And that cuts the lead down to 3. That's the thing about this Mustangs is as many turnovers as sloppy as it's been. You look up, they're only down 3 right now.
We've said it all season. It's uncanny to look up and go, oh my gosh, they got to be, no, they're right in the ball game again. And they do it with their defense. As much as they struggle on the offensive end with the turnovers and a couple of the bad shots, they find a way to get in the game through the defensive effort.
One-footed step back fade away. 16-17 footer from Owen Mackey, no good. So Scoop Johnson trying a little bounce to the baseline. It's kicked, no call. Mackey picks it up. Cross court to Will. Warner back out top to Christensen. Robinson gonna flip it back to Meacham. Around a curl to the free throw line, back to Will. Triple threat position, but he'll put it on a bounce and give it up to Christensen. Warriors patient.
And if you're Coach Meacham's talking right now, like, look, no shot clock. Let's get what we want. We're at home. We've got probably superior shooting.
And Big Sean with a huge block. Coast-to-coast transition and a right-hand lay-in by the big guy. I think he wanted to dunk, but he didn't have the footing right.
Yeah, we thought the first dunk would come from Owen Mackey. It almost came on Owen Mackey.
Big Sean, the steal and the finish. We got a 30-second timeout brought to you by one of our great local partners, Cache Valley Bank. Back for more from the jungle after this on the Fan Sports Network.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you could still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Hello? Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
I'm Bo Bradshaw, owner of Bo's Auto Parts. I want to watch the game as well, so I'll make this quick. When you come into Bo's Auto Parts, our store mission is simple. Supply our customers with the best auto parts and the best customer service we can provide. Come on by and see if we can deliver.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist, Boulevard Home, bringing you high school hoops. 11-10, final minute of the first quarter. Carter Murdoch, he'll give it up. Got some substitutions on the court right now. Trayson Kelch checking in for the first time tonight. He'll get it to Mackey with 40 seconds left in the first.
And this is where you'd be looking up at the shot clock going, okay, they should be winding down. But Snow Canyon is so good. This is a lot of what they did in the state tournament, was just methodically wearing you down.
Uh-oh, but a mistake, a moving screen called against Robinson Christensen, and a rare turnover for the Warriors. And now the Mustangs can get the final shot if they want.
Hard to believe that Crimson could go in to the second quarter up after such a horrific start.
6 first quarter turnovers, and yet a bucket here, and they would take the lead. Out top, They turn it over again, number 7. Kelch, though, travels, trying to step out of a little double team, and it's back to Crimson.
Hard call. I don't know if it just looked like an awkward play after the pickup. I think probably as a ref, you maybe let that one go, but here we are again, 13.7, Warriors 11, Crimson Mustangs 10, and they've got a chance to go up into the second quarter. Kind of what we expected, though, Devin. Like I said, I think this first half was going to be teams filling each other out, a little sloppy. We have seen nothing from Jordan Eaton, which is scary if you're a Snow Canyon, but we've also seen nothing on cue. Jordan Eaton with the turnaround jumper off an offensive rebound. What an athlete.
Yeah, it was so many times we've seen that. Good if it goes at the horn, but no. And so just like that, it is 12-11 defensive battle. We'll take a full 60-second timeout when we come back. Quarter number 2 here on the Fan Sports Network on the Wilkinson scoreboard. Crimson 12, Snow Canyon 11. Don't touch that dial.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back. High school basketball coverage on the Fan Sports Network. Glad you're with us. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist.
Great first quarter of basketball, Devin. I think it's exactly what we thought we'd see.
Yeah, no question about it.
Well, look, we've seen virtually nothing from Jordan Eaton until that last bucket there. So if you're Snow Canyon, you're thinking, wow, it's been great that we've been able to keep him and contain him. But at the same time, Owen Mackey really hasn't done anything. So I think these guys they're kind of getting a rhythm, getting a feel for the game. Look for Owen Mackey, look for Jordan Eaton to have a little more of a presence.
Well, let's be honest, they're both guarding each other. And both those guys want to shut down the other one because they both have real similar stats, about 22 and 8 per game on average. Will Warner out top to the elbow, kick out to Mackey. Mackey will take a triple. That won't go. Rebound Hamlin, put back short. And rebound grab by Johnson.
Well, it looks like there's a slick spot down there. A couple of guys slipped in that same area. It's not like the NBA or the college, Dad. We don't have that guy down there that, was out there with the quick broom.
7:12 to go. And still 12-11. Crimson has the lead.
Well, this will be interesting to see what the second quarter will tell us a lot about the rest of the game. If Jordan Eaton gets warm here, which he just does, that's his spot. And Debbie gives him the old too small hand down to the side. 4 quick ones for Jordan Eaton, and they're up 14-11 with 6:55 left in the second quarter. At home in the jungle for Snow Canyon. A little bit of energy there early on for Snow Canyon. Now it's kind of getting quiet.
And that shot won't go again, and here comes Eaton. Lob ahead, but stolen by Owen Mackey. Over to Levin. Levin will hoist the 3. You first, Credit Union 3, nothing but the bottom.
And if you're Crimson, he's over there saying, well, guys, we've got to stop turning the ball over. That's a 3 to 5 point swing there. You give it to him in transition, wide open 3-pointer, when all you had to do is get the ball up the court.
Out top, Drake Carroll, guarded by Meacham, and whip it over to the corner. Scoop, looking inside for Big Sean. High lob, good catch. He'll try to score it over Mackey, missed it, put back good off the bank. How about Big Sean?
I've yet to see him swing a golf club, but I hear he's an incredible golfer. He's only gotten better. The first week I saw him, I thought, this guy might have something. He just keeps getting better and better. And as unorthodox as maybe his release is from a fundamental standpoint, it goes in, Dev.
Inside Mackey, back outside Will. 3, bottoms up. Will Warner, big 3 there. And the Warriors back up 1, 17-16 over the Mustangs.
And another turnover.
Shot won't go, Carroll.
I've got that at 8 turnovers. A little bit of transition finally now.
Woo! Oh no! Phelps missed the dunk, but a whistle and a foul. He was all alone, and it popped out.
Sometimes it's hard being the big guy.
We wanted the house to jump dunk, though, so everybody get free 1 hour jump time.
We won't put that on him, but he cost some free hours of jump. Something tells me we're going to get one more in this game, so no worries there, Big Sean. All right, we got a couple substitutions here. Trevor Taylor in, Jay Sweeten, who again provided that spark off the bench. We got Still Barbin, Jordan Eaton, Drake Carroll, and Houston Johnson back on the floor. And you'll see this from Crimson. Coach Fairborn will go 8-9 in that first half. Not afraid to play some of the other younger guys and mix things up when it's not going right. 18-17 lead for Crimson. We talk about it, and I'm going to probably keep saying it. You look up, you go, there's no way they've got the lead, let alone not down 5 or 6. And lo and behold, they're up by 1 with 5 left in the second quarter at home for Snow Canyon in the jungle.
Warner to the free throw line, whip to the corner. Murdoch will circle it back up top, guarded by Taylor. Good to have him back in the lineup, but if you're just joining us, Phoenix McWillis out sick tonight, not able to go.
Not even with the team, not even dressed.
Well, it's probably contagious. They don't want him around the team.
Yep. No, I mean.
Warner to the middle of the key, nothing available. Guarded by Still Barber. Now Meacham will try to drive. Wrap around baseline pass right to the middle. Little floater. That won't go for Levitt. Good pass, but he couldn't finish.
And I was really looking forward to seeing a shot clock in this game because I think this is one of those matchups with Snow Canyon that it probably favors Crimson versus Snow Canyon with the shot clock. As we see a long rebound there and Cy Meacham bring it up the left-hand side.
Drop it down to Mackey. Mackey kick.
Well, and I forget the game that it was early on, but as we see another turnover, I think that's number 8 or 9.
Mackey, though, will score with the left hand in transition. He was the secondary trailer, and they patiently found him, and you could see the leaping ability. He was high there, but just softly laid it off the window and down.
And here's what I know about a scorer. You do not want to let them get an easy basket or a foul shot because once they do and they get that taste, the basket only gets bigger and their thirst for buckets only gets even stronger.
I agree, and now we're seeing the matchup within the matchup as Eaton scores back at the other end. I was kind of hoping these two would both score 30 tonight.
There's still time.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. We saw, I can't remember the game, Dev, but Owen Mackey, I think he'd only had a couple of buckets, maybe 6 or 8 points. And then he scored, I think, 12 straight in regulation and into overtime. And there's our double-digit turnover in the first half.
Yeah, and they're going to call that on a moving screen or travel on Taylor.
Offensive.
They call it offensive foul? Okay, they did tag him with the foul. That's only his first, though.
Yep.
But you're right. 10 turnovers, and we still have 2:40 to play here in the first half.
Yeah, and that's got to be frustrating for a head coach. And if you're Coach Meacham, you're sitting there saying, guys, look, we can get these guys sped up and turn the ball over. Let's make sure we make them pay when they do.
Coming up, the Rally Stop halftime show. We'll get you some Adams Wealth Advisor statistics. We'll check on some other scores from around the region brought to you by Nets on Fire. All coming up, but still 2:14. Again, Snow Canyon not in a hurry with no shot clock tonight. Murdoch kick out. 3 will go off the side rim, no good, out of the hand of Ryder Holt. And here come the Mustangs.
And this is where you've got to take advantage of those rebounds in transition. There's no reason against this team to slow play it. If you have that rebound, get them and make them pay in transition.
Barbin corner 3, he was open, but too strong. Rebound, Mackey. Mackey wants to push. Gliding down the middle of the court. Now jump stop, kick it to Warner. Warner back to Mackey. Mackey will take a 3. He's short on that one. Got his own miss. Lays it home. Mackey's got a couple lay-ins. Maybe they'll get that shot going.
You can see he's starting to impose his will a little bit and force his way into the action. And I'll tell you, that's the one guy in the gym you do not want to get on fire.
I'd go right to Eaton here. See if they try to find him the ball. Johnson, now Eaton with it. Still got a minute 15 first half, 23-20. Snow Canyon leading by 3 on the Wilkinson scoreboard. Offensive foul, player control call goes against Barbin, and he might have got hit below the belt.
This is where we've talked a lot about the fundamentals of just coming to a jump stop and either going up after you've come to that, or dishing to the open guy where that guy's come from the help side. 11 turnovers after what? We've got 15 minutes of play, almost a turnover a minute, and somehow, Dev, they're only down 3.
Yeah, both coaches are going to have some adjustments to make in the locker room, though, especially the turnover department for Coach Fairborn.
Yeah,
that's something really that doesn't come down to coaching. That's just you got to value the ball.
Got to take care of the basketball, time and score, get those extra possessions. You know, we talked a lot about it in high school and college for me about time and score, but also be quick, but don't hurry.
Warriors have not been in a hurry offensively. Been patient tonight. Lower scoring game. We kind of talked about that in the pregame show. Region play, defense ratchets up. Warriors up by 3. Now 35 seconds left. This possession is about 30 seconds long. Warner's going to jump stop, kick out.
And you can see they're in no hurry. Coach Meacham's halfway out on the court saying, guys, we don't have to shoot it. We can get the last shot. We can go into the locker room up 3 or 5 or 6 and be perfectly content with that in the first game of region.
Down to 17 seconds. Wide open, Will Warner. He will take the 3, missed it. Barbin tips it to himself. Barbin is bumped and fouled by Kelch. And Kelch will get the personal foul. That's his first.
A little surprising after almost 16 minutes of play. Only 5 team fouls for the Warriors and 3 for Crimson. In some of the games that we've seen, usually we're already in a bonus, maybe even a double bonus. So to see it with only 8 total fouls between the two teams, kind of interesting. It tells you that the refs are going to let them play a little bit.
Down to 11 here. Scoop, hanging, hitting, tough shot. Scoop Johnson scores it.
That's a great play. It's a great play.
Only thing he did wrong is he left Owen Mackey some time for a 3. Owen Mackey, nothing but the bottom to end the half, and the Warriors take the 26-22 lead. Scoop just scored a little too quick.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew how much time was left, but it looked like he was in a little bit of a hurry. I think if you're Crimson, you want to get the last possession there.
All right, coming up, the Rally Stop halftime show at the break on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Snow Canyon 26, Crimson 22. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, Canyon Media, here for you.
Performing. Welcome to the Rally Stop halftime show. Matt, is this the E-Shells or is this the cheerleaders? This looks like a drill team show performance to me, doesn't it?
You know, it's funny. We talk a lot about the football and the basketball and the baseball in Region 10, but the dance squads,
they work
in Region 10.
Oh yeah,
they go all out. I mean, this is like Disney costumes. We've got we got shields out there.
Well, last year the Jetettes had stilts.
Yeah,
I mean. And it's competitive. Drill is just as competitive as a winter sport as about anything. Wrestling, basketball, boys or girls, I concur. I've seen it firsthand. I got a daughter that actually does drill in Region 10, and they work a lot. I mean, she's been getting up 5 a.m. and going to practices, and it's fun.
We got spears now.
Yeah, now they got spears. Yeah, they might light them off if you're really lucky. Yeah. Entertaining halftime show, but Very entertaining first half. We thought it would be close. It is. Owen Mackey hits a 3 at the horn to give Snow Canyon the 26-22 lead. Make sure and stop in before or after your high school basketball to a local rally stop. Our halftime sponsor, Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist. Ben, just too many turnovers for the Mustangs, but considering they had double-digit turnovers, they got to feel pretty good to only be down 4 at the half.
Crimson does such a great job defensively that they're really never out of any game. But if you let a guy like Owen Mackey get going, you let him get a taste for the hoop and that basket, it's not going to be a good situation in the second half. It'll be interesting to see how he comes out. If he comes out in that more passive style that he started the game, or if he comes out in a more aggressive standpoint and goes and attacks and tries to get 20 to 25, because if he does that, Crimson might let this one slip a little more away than what they can get back into. But kind of a crazy first half, just happened that fast. And I think a lot of that is you look up at the scoreboard and there were only 8 fouls.
Yeah.
And so that first half goes so quickly when it's just back and forth action and no shot clock, which I really think favors Snow Canyon.
It does, and I agree, and it's 26-22, the Warriors by 4. In the first half, Crimson had 4 players score. Jordan Eaton had 8, 6 for Still Barman, 4 for Sean Feltz, and 4 for Scoop Johnson. Of course, Phoenix McWillis is out, but, you know, Jay Sweeten has came in and given them a spark in some games. Houston Johnson, a very capable scorer. A couple names they probably need a few buckets from in the second half if they're going to come back and win.
Well, yeah, we're in a little bit of danger on our Holbrook Asphalt top score for 55.
Well, nobody told us the shot clock wasn't working.
Yeah,
here in the
I know.
jungle
Maybe we get an exception on this one, but you know, I think this is a little bit of what we expected in terms of kind of the sloppy first half. I thought that, you know, as we look at some of the replays here, a fantastic catch and finish.
Hamlin.
Jeez. I've seen his dad play. I don't know where his son gets that athleticism from.
Hey,
Masai Meacham again. You cannot even let that guy set his feet because he's put so much time into his jumper.
Adams Wealth Advisor stats in the first half. There's 2 of Will Warner's 7. Mackey had 7, and Cy had 7. 3 for Bear Levitt and 2 for Luke Hamlin. So 5 Warriors combining for just the 26 points. But Snow Canyon winning on the scoreboard and winning in the turnover differential.
And those are things, Devin, that catch up with you. You know, if you combine that with offensive rebounds, you're in real trouble. It's kind of like in football. If you turn the ball over 2 or 3 or 4 times or you lose the turnover battle, it's really hard to stay in a game. So there's just no way that Crimson can stay in this game if they hit double all of those turnovers. Let's come out and impose our will a little bit. Let's find, if I'm Coach Meacham, I'm saying, how do I get Owen Mackey a little more involved earlier in the game? As we look at some of the replays here, I mean, that's just classic basketball. You got to box out the best athlete on the court as Owen Mackey gets that offensive rebound and scoops it up on the replay.
Well, and you saw Mackey get a couple of lay-ins, and I really felt like that was going to open things up for a good halftime show going by some of the Snow Canyon drill team and the cheerleaders and everybody kind of getting ready for school. Goes back actually tomorrow. I think the teachers and stuff with staff are back today. I think all the kids go back to school tomorrow, but still.
Great crowd considering.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah, exactly.
Expect some full houses on Friday night as the kids are back in. This is what's great about high school basketball is you got such great local support from our businesses, from the students, from the, you know, all the participants. It's a great thing to be a part of in the Region 10 right here on the Fan Sports Network. Huge shout out again. We got Gage, we got CC back in the studio, and our man in the truck, Matt Hamlin.
Yeah, we're having fun tonight. We got our technical difficulties worked out on the radio side. We were rocking and rolling. Let's take a 2-minute timeout message from our great local partners. We'll come back up, wrap up the Rally Stop halftime show, and get you ready for second half action. Warriors by 4 on the Wilkinson scoreboard at the half on the Fan Sports Network.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Guest Valley Bank. Mountains await. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster
Master.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know from Fox Sports Southern Utah.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, every weekday from 4 to 6 on 99.5 FM in St. George and 93.1 FM or 1400 AM in Cedar City.
Miss the show? You can find us on your favorite podcast app by searching From the Bleachers or Fox Sports Southern Utah.
Hey, we're back at the Jungle here at the half, 26-22. Warriors have a 4-point lead over the Mustangs. Glad you're with us on your Wednesday night here on The Fan or on the live stream on our website, thefansportsnetwork.com. Region 10 Sports TV picking it up tonight. KSLSports.com picking up. We're coming at you statewide tonight. And we got a good one, 4-point game. Let's get you some other scores from around the region brought to you by Nets on Fire. And Ben, I want to get your reaction. At the half, Dixie 39, Hurricane 23. Kyle Lemke's already got 19.
And I think that's one of those games that if you look at on the schedule right now with where Dixie's at and where Hurricane's at, that looked like a 20-point win for Dixie. And so I think that's what we expected out of that game. You got Desert Hills, who's up on Cedar. This is a little bit of an interesting one, 35-23. We don't know really what to expect so far from Cedar City. We haven't had a chance to see a whole lot of their games. But I think if you're Desert Hills, you're excited about being up by 12 in the first half there.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you look at Desert Hills, they kind of got off to a sluggish start. I did a game when they played Skyview. Now, Skyview's number 2 in the RPI behind Dixie, and they ran Desert Hills off the court. But since that game, they've kind of woken up. They're 7-3, trying to go to 1-0 in region.
And they they were one of the, I think Dixie was a team, Snow Canyon was a team that played during that week of Christmas.
They were at the Canyon View Coach Hodson Cancer Classic. You're right, up at Canyon View High School. And they went 3-0.
And you talk all the time about reps, especially at this age. These kids, a lot of them, this is their first time playing varsity basketball. You have 1 or 2 guys that have returned from a previous year's experience. So if you can get those extra reps and that experience, that every game matters.
Let me clarify the RPI. I said Dixie was 1. They are actually 2. Skyview is 1. Dixie is 2. In the latest RPI, Desert Hills 3. Bear River comes in at 4. Ridgeline 5. Then it's Layton Christian at 6. Then you have these 2 teams here tonight. Snow Canyon, Crimson at 7 and Snow Canyon at 8. And obviously that's going to change as region play is getting underway.
I had a lot of people ask me, oh my gosh, did you see the RPI? And I went, well, look, they don't have a lot to go with right now. It's going to change so much.
Some are playing 3A, some are playing 5A schools.
It's just so hard to gauge early on. And I think, if you're a coach, you go, okay, kind of interesting. Maybe you use it as an opportunity to kind of get a chip on your shoulder and say, well, we're not getting the respect we deserve. But if you're up there towards the top, you want to make sure that you don't get too high.
All right, Ben, tell me, what is your Jason Baum Bay Equity Home Loans second half adjustments? Appreciate Bay Equity Home Loans, proud sponsor of our high school sports coverage here on The Fan.
If you're Crimson, it's eliminate the turnovers. If you're Snow Canyon, it's make sure and make them pay and play your style of basketball, because they've got, I think, a little bit better fundamental shooting and basketball players on Snow Canyon. And Crimson, you just got to eliminate the turnovers. And somehow, we've said it in every game we've done for Crimson. You look up at the clock, this should be a 10 or 12-point game for the Warriors right now, and they're only down 4 if you're the Mustangs.
It'll be the same starting lineups for both teams, except for Snow Canyon will put Carter Murdoch in to start the second half.
Interesting.
And
well, they're looking down there towards the training room. I don't know. We'll get you an update on that, of course, as the second half goes on. But
maybe did Murdoch start tonight? He didn't start tonight. Cy.
Yeah, it looks like he's maybe got a hurt back, is what we're getting from our sideline reporter.
Something going on with Cy Meacham, maybe. Turnaround jumper by Eaton. That's short. Opening possession of the half. The ball, loose ball rebound collected by Will Warner. Here comes Will.
We don't even see him down there, Dev. So it's kind of interesting.
Bear Levitt shot, no good with a foul. Yeah, I'm looking on the sideline, but I do not see Cy Meacham even down there right now.
Yeah, they could be trying to work on that lower lumbar back area. And that's going to be a big, that's a big loss in terms of shooting for Snow Canyon.
He had 7 first half points. He, Owen Mackey, and Will Warner all had 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a back, and I don't know if it was he involved in that play with Steele Barb in the offensive call where they both hit the ground so hard?
Maybe so. You could be correct there. Free throws, no good. So empty possession there for the Warriors. They were trying to build upon a 4-point lead. Taylor's going to stop, pop, and hit a little transition three. He was set, but that was a good-looking stroke.
You look down at Coach Fairborn, he did the no, yes! What a great shot, as long as it goes in.
Yeah, and that gives him green light if he wants another one, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
hey, that looked pretty good. It was in rhythm, baby.
You love to see it for a guy that's had to, spend some time on the sideline with an injury. Certainly, if you're Crimson, you need to, you want to see more of that and have him have a bigger impact.
How about the guy that's coming out, starting in the second half, Carter Murdoch with the U First Credit Union three-pointer.
It's a great basket. I mean, again, I think now this is what we talked about in the pregame, where suddenly you'll see them get a little more comfortable. Even though they've played a first, month and a half of basketball, it's not like region.
So both teams trade three-pointers, 29-25 on our Wilkinson scoreboard. Scoop Johnson spin move, whistle and a foul.
And it looks like we've got Cy, looks like he came out. He had a big smile on his face. The trainer's coming out with him, assistants coming out with him. Yeah. I think he's going to be ready to go. I don't know if they rub some dirt on it, Deb. What do they do at this level now?
I don't know. Kenny Cundy just reached to the bench, and I thought he was going to get Cy, but he brought Kelch in, so still. Well, he's smiling down there.
He's smiling. Doesn't look like he's in a ton of pain, so who knows?
Ball saved. Murdoch gets it over to Bear, and an empty set for the Mustangs. Here comes Will Warner right to the middle of the floor, all the way down, off the glass and in. Will Warner.
Found the seam, came in, made the guy on defense make a decision, and found that up and under move. What a great transition bucket for Snow Canyon.
Warriors by 6. Appreciate Wilkinson's, our scoreboard sponsor. Great. Lights, fans, home decor, and so much more. And there's Houston Johnson, first bucket of the night, and they needed it. Turn around, Jay, middle of the key, and it's good.
We talk about the loss of Phoenix McWillis. Houston's a guy that you'd probably want to see 8 or 10 points from tonight. There's 2.
There's 2. See if you can have a big second half. Behind the back, Mackey. Double team comes, kicks to the corner. And back out top to Will.
And you just look at Jordan Eaton. He's just like, you can tell he loves playing defense.
Luke Hamlin, U First Credit Union, 3, nothing but the bottom.
What a great shot. Probably got that. He and his sister, outstanding high school basketball players.
She leads the entire state in girls basketball in scoring. The Warriors girls team won their region opener last night. I think Olivia had 26.
I thought she'd get 30, but I'm sure her dad will talk to her and say, hey, you got to shoot more.
We got a Cache Valley Bank timeout. Let's keep it right here. I want to thank some of our great partners, our title sponsor, Boulevard Home. Excited to have them a part of our high school coverage here on The Fan since, 48 years, making your house more of a home. Everybody shops at the Boulevard.
A local staple.
Yep.
Dev, 34-27 Warriors over the Mustangs. Obviously, it forced a timeout out of Coach Fairborn, but at this point, you've got to be really careful. This thing could slip to 15 before you know it.
Kind of creeping in on our Bose Auto Parts, crucial part of the game. That's why, wanted to stop the bleeding there, kind of get the guys refocused. Let's call this our Bose Auto Parts crucial part of the game. When you're in need of that crucial part for your vehicle, go to Bose locations all over Southern Utah. Here's a replay of the Taylor three-pointer.
Taylor gets that, and then Snow Canyon comes back with 2 quick ones in a row, as we'll see here. Murdoch up, and it's just nothing but the bottom of the net. As old Hot Rod used to say, gentle push, mild arc, and the Cowlight Globe hits home.
Yes, indeed. And then Warner just patiently slithering down the lane and putting it up and in. All our replays brought to you by Holbrook Asphalt, and we're hoping for the big score dessert tonight. We just need over 55 points, and the scoring is ticking up a little bit here, 34-27. Warriors, this is the largest lead of the game, 7 points.
Well, look for a nice set play out of the timeout here. They've got to get a bucket to stop the bleeding, and instead, an almost turnover.
Yep, and almost the official kept that inbounds, but then went off his leg out of bounds. Teddy almost got out of the way. But
getting involved in the action.
Yeah. Good.
Coach Fairborn saying, okay, let's try this one more time.
Barbin terminates, goes to Taylor. Tough catch on the wing, turns faces.
Looks like they were trying to get a little cross screen for Eaton to get him the ball on the block.
Houston spins, felt the double team coming, so good sense there. But then Scoop had it stripped and stolen away. Here comes Will Warner. Warriors running. Transition defense, so will spin it back out near half court.
Well, I think sometimes when you get down, you try and start to do a little bit too much. and you try and force it. That's why this is, we talked about in the Bose Auto Park, crucial play of the game. You don't want to let this thing slip to double digits. That could be against a team like Snow Canyon, who takes advantage of the entire clock.
Murdoch pump fake a 3. You're right, another pace and possession, and the shot clocks, which are new in the state of Utah. There's some schools that don't have all the parts to make them operational, and that's the case here at Snow Canyon High. Steal by Johnson. Houston over to Eaton. Eaton back outside to Barbin. You first 3 short. Offensive rebound, Eaton. High floater, that won't go. And rebound finally corralled by Carter Murdoch and the Warriors.
Well, and a 7-point lead for Snow Canyon might as well be 15 or 20 for another team. Just be the way that they play basketball. So yeah, you got to get some quality baskets if you're Crimson. And if you're Snow Canyon, you just want to make sure that you keep milking the clock and get what you want.
Will Warner to the middle, pump fake, and Will Warner scores it. He's got 11. That's a game-high 11.
And he's looking at the ref saying, I think that was an and one, ref.
Scoop Johnson flips it to Murdoch, who stole it right out of the pass. All the way with the left hand, scored. How about Murdoch with 5 second-half points? The thievery in the finish.
And you're going to see a timeout as Coach Fairborn comes all the way almost to the Snow Canyon side of the bench saying, please give us a timeout. And if our team can stop turning the ball over, we can get back into this game.
How about a little run here, and it's 38-27. We'll take a 30-second timeout as the Warriors are starting to get it going offensively. Double-digit lead. It's grown to the largest of the night. Back after this 30-second timeout on the Fan Sports Network.
Region 10 Sports is brought to you by Nets on Fire, the premier training and event facility in Southern Utah. High-level individual and group training catered to your athlete, plus the best camps, clinics, tournaments, and showcases in the West. Visit netsonfire.org.
Back at the jungle here, Crimson inbounds it to Drake Carroll, who gets quickly fouled by Kelch. That's his second. That's only the second team foul. Hey, there hasn't been a lot of fouls in this game. The officials have let him go, let him play. I like that. A little hand check there. That's been the emphasis the last couple of seasons, slowing and impeding progress down. So Eaton set to trigger it back in. Gets it into Carroll, who goes behind the back, and another foul on Kelch. And I don't know about that one.
Coach Fairborn out on the court saying, guys, we just talked about it in the timeout. Make the easy play. And sometimes that's the hard thing, especially as you get down now 11, as you try and push it a little bit,
hey,
as opposed to letting it come to you.
We got to keep our eye on the Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game. Keep an eye on that. Thank you, Morgan Pest Control. Our 60 for school sponsor. For every region win, Morgan will donate $60. So the winner of this game, Morgan folks will donate $60 to their athletic fund. We appreciate that. And another turnover. That's got to be at least 13 turnovers for the Mustangs tonight. Warriors go back to work. Open 3, Will Warner not this time, and rebound to Johnson. Houston races ahead. Terminates.
And it's getting to the point where you feel a little bit like a turnover's coming every play down the floor, and I think that's the hard part. Is sometimes those mistakes compound. You start to force it even more, or try not to make a mistake, and then you make a mistake trying so hard.
I think this is a good move, though, to go put Sean Feltz back in the game and then quickly try to get him the ball.
And Jay Sweeten, too. I mean, I think we had those guys in that first half, got them back in the game after a slow start for Crimson.
Feltz, Fabulous Freddy's free throw, good. Hey, they got happy hour at Fabulous Freddy's, 2 Southern Utah locations, from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You get $5 off any car wash. Again, every day of the week from 5 to 7 p.m. It's the Fab Freddy's 2023 happy hour. Go check that out.
Yeah, we finally got some free throws.
There hasn't been any. There's been
2 more in the first. No, we've had. That was our 6th free throw, I believe.
We haven't had many though. The lead is 10. 38-28, Snow Canyon leading with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
And a name we haven't called in a while, Owen Mackey again, kind of laying in wait. You hate to, you don't want to let him get started here in that end of the third quarter.
That's the thing about Mackey. He does He does it in spurts. There he
Whoa.
goes. There he goes!
My goodness.
House of jump, one-hand thunderous dunk for Owen Mackey.
Let's look at the replay here. Sorry for the people on the radio not being able to see this, but the drive on the left side goes up, gets contested by Houston, and a thunderous one-handed jam. Looks like some kids are going to the house of jump, Dev.
Yeah, we'll get you the details in a second, but Mackey trying to kick it. He gets knocked down. The student section wanted a foul, no call.
And you got to be so careful.
To 833 644 2423, and you will get a text back that gives you 1 hour free jump time at the House of Jump, where it's okay to bounce off the walls. And Ben, I remember what you said. He's bouncy in the pregame show, and you just saw the bounce in Owen Mackey's step on that dunk.
Huge dunk. I mean, you just goes left. A lot of what Crimson tries to do is drive the baseline. Goes left. The rotation was late, and you just see how quick and athletic he is as he raises up there, and then comes back down and says, well, I can do a dunk, or I can give you the three. But this is such dangerous territory. If Crimson can't get a couple of stops and 2 or 3 baskets to close out the third quarter, this thing could be over.
Wallace Smith in. Still haven't seen Cy Meacham yet in the second half. Sweeten put back on a miss. That won't go. And the lid is on for the Mustangs. Largest lead of the game, it's 15. Carter Murdoch, kick it over to Will Warner, straight away to Robinson, Christensen. Now back to Murdoch. Will straight away. Still a minute left in the third quarter. Get you some Nets on Fire Region 10 updates here in just a few minutes at the quarter break. Mackey, triple again, short. Rebound Scoop. Scoop ahead. Sweeten stays in bounds, doesn't travel, leaves it, and Jordan Eaton is fouled. He'll head to the Fabulous Freddy's free throw line.
You see the athleticism of Jay Sweeten right there with that catch and just being able to stay on balance.
Really
need a spark if you're Crimson right now. Something to keep you in this game before it slips away.
The decision-making process for Sweeten, one, he had to try to decide if he was going to try to catch it, then score it, or catch it, stay in bounds. He decides to stay in bounds, and that allowed him not to travel. That's good footwork. That's your starting free safety right there.
Big-time player, and only
Coach
a
Wayne
junior,
Alafopo
right?
looking at that, going, I got that kid back for one more year. Yeah, he's just a junior.
And he looks like he's just coming on the floor to just mix it up and do the dirty work, kind of a Dennis Rodman style player.
Rocking a headband tonight.
Yeah, we don't quite have the hair for that, Deb. We've always kind of kept it high and tight.
Eaton, both free throws good, lead down to 13, 42
Feels
seconds.
like 20, but it's only 13, 43-30 for Crimson, or for the Warriors.
Yep. Half-court offense now for the Warriors. See if they decide to hold it for one.
I think unless you see a wide open shot, they're just going to milk the clock and take the last shot. Maybe a backdoor lob to Mackey. It looks like he just chirped his shoes up. Watch for a swing over here to the left side, and maybe a backdoor lob play.
Wallace in the game there.
Maybe an isolation here for him with 9 seconds left.
Yeah, that looks like that's what we're going to do. Here comes Bear Levitt for the pick. Mackey with one, got to let it fly. Got it! Step back, dagger three. Owen Mackey, brought to you by You First Credit Union. Hit 2 big ones in the quarter, plus a thunderous one-hand dunk, and the Warriors' lead is ballooned to 16.
Give a lot of credit to Owen Mackey. He's so talented and so skilled. You probably could have him shoot 5 or 6 more times and not feel like he's forcing it, but he's just kind of let the moment come to him, Devin. And when it has, he's capitalized with a thunderous dunk and a couple of late threes in the third quarter.
So at the end of the third quarter, Warriors 46, Mustangs 30. Mackey bringing the house down. Just a 30-second timeout. The fourth quarter coming up when we come back on the Fan Sports Network.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
We're back. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist, Fan Sports Network, high school basketball presented by Boulevard Home. For 48 years, serving Southern Utah. We got the whole crew here tonight, and the lead is all of a sudden ballooned to 16. Huge third quarter for Coach Meacham and the Warriors.
Yeah, and Cy Meacham out with an injury from what we can see. Hasn't been in since the first quarter or first half. Owen Mackey's the story of the third quarter with his athleticism and his basketball skill. He's gotten them to the point that a couple more baskets and this could be trouble for Crimson.
Well, Mackey didn't score early, and
seven.
Then he had 7 at the half, and now all of a sudden he's got 8 in the third quarter. He's got 15 a game high.
And it doesn't feel like he's really had any other than that dunk, and he just makes it look so easy.
Warner kick out to Hamlin. Hamlin drives to the middle, kicks it over to Levitt. Nice pass, and Levitt off the window and good. Good things happen when we get to the middle of the floor, huh?
Yeah, especially when a team like Crimson tries to force to the baseline. If you can get that middle penetration, it really puts the rotating defenders at a disadvantage.
Mustangs desperately need a bucket if they want to have a little comeback in the cards. Johnson with a great move and one opportunity for Houston Johnson.
You've got to be able to get back in the game here early in this fourth quarter just because of what we've talked about. Snow Canyon is so methodical. They're so disciplined on offense that they won't let you get back into a game if this thing gets to 20. So especially without a shot clock. This is one of those things, we've talked about it all season. What's the impact of the shot clock going to be? And then you see this game where there's no shot clock due to the equipment.
I know it's working at Crimson. I know it's working, I think, at Desert Hills. But I know it's not been working at Pineview and now Snow Canyon. And Hurricane, I think,
we
is
got
the
3
other
schools.
One. I think Cedar's good. I think Dixie's good. I just think there was a part, this supply chain issues, I guess. That's what you chalk it up to.
Hopefully after this year, we can no longer blame the pandemic for stuff like that. It's even got our shot clocks.
Well, they sent a part. I understand it was the wrong part. They had to send it back, and that's now the holdup. It hasn't come yet. That ball deflected out of bounds.
I love that, at this level, they don't make a big deal about it. Look, the equipment's not here. We're not going to have it tonight. Go out and play the game. No big deal.
Oh, steal by Mackey. Here comes the O show. I pull it back out and wait for a set play.
It's what I love about his game. He's so disciplined. He could have forced it there, maybe created something with his athleticism, but he just said, look, I know the game. I know the time and score situation. Let's back it out, and I'll get the open one.
Warner now will drive. He's hitting foul. Will Warner earns a trip to the line for 2. You're right. I mean, when he went behind the back, you thought he was going to make another move and try to get all the way to the rim, but just backed it back out. He's so patient.
Maybe too patient at times. I think if just in being able to watch him a couple of times that I have, it's like, I want to see this kid shoot more. And I think if you're Coach Meacham, you really respect that the guy gets his teammates involved, plays that style of basketball, and you know that at any moment he can take it and make a play by himself.
And you kind of wondered with the Warriors going 7-5 in the preseason, although they played a tough schedule, how would they do on the trek to defend their state title? Well, if tonight's any implication, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be in the mix because they look really good at home tonight against the Mustangs. Beautiful drive baseline, feed to Sweeten in the middle. He puts it home. Lead is still 16. First bucket of the night for Jay Sweeten. They need more of that.
Yeah, we talked about not having Phoenix McWillis, and I think that's something maybe that you'll look at and go, well, hey, look, guys, this was just one deal. We're going to have Friday night. We didn't have Phoenix tonight. But you want to see a team like Crimson. This is an important and critical game for them because this region is going to be so hotly contested that you don't have many mistakes and nights off. That's the toughest call in basketball, a charge, block call. You can't fault Houston for trying to create something there, but turnovers.
Too many. I think it's about 15 tonight for the Mustangs. They've done a better job in the second half.
Better job. Yeah, that first half, that was the opportunity for them to either get a little bit of a lead or be a little more in this game.
Hamlin going down, gets rid of it, and it was a good pass, and now into the front court. Owen Mackey, quick shot, no.
And you saw the look on his face of frustration. And then the call here, I was just looking up at the score. It was 7 fouls, and now it's 3. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him try and balance it out a little bit. That's what the refs often do late in the game, is try and balance that foul count out.
That one went on Bear Levitt as the Mustangs were trying to get out and go off a miss by Owen Mackey. Mackey's got 15 tonight.
And strangely, I would say a quiet 15 other than that dunk.
Well, and Jordan Eaton's kind of got a quiet, after that fabulous Freddie's free throw, I think he's got 13 tonight. So both these guys that average over 21 a game, it's kind of methodical. It's not like they're just hucking out there.
No, and I'm already looking forward to the at Crimson version of this game, just because I think these two teams are going to compete for one of those top spots. And I think maybe we didn't see Crimson's best so far tonight.
Hamlin open three, too strong. Rebound, tip back up and in. Man, I give credit to Kelch there.
That was Owen Mackey who got a left hand on that.
Okay.
And again, the best athlete on the floor, you got to keep him off the boards. Come on, Double D.
Mackey's got hops. And whistling a foul again here. Defensively going on the Warriors. This one will go on Kelch, his third. 8th team foul, so Barbin will have the 1-and-1.
And who would have thought? Cy Meacham on the bench for the second half with a potential injury. And Snow Canyon's able to kind of impose their will and pull away a little bit here.
Murdoch comes back in. So Coach Meacham has Hamlin, Warner, Mackey, Levitt, and Murdoch. Coach Fairborn in the Mustangs. Johnson, Eaton, Barbin, who just made the front end of the 1-and-1. Johnson and Sweeten on the court here as we're 4:45 to go in the fourth quarter. 52-37. Snow Canyon has the lead. Second free throw no good. Rebound Warriors. Here's a little three-quarter court trap look applied. Mustangs definitely trying to get some steals and get some quick transition points if they want to get back in this game. Time is not their friend, especially without the shot clock. Snow Canyon has been very patient tonight offensively most of the time.
Yeah, they've done a great job of just waiting for the right shot. A lot of great shot flakes, a lot of good inside the paint baskets.
Hamlin, a beautiful dime to Levitt, who lays it up and in. Bear Levitt with the bucket. And it's 54-37. Warriors with the lead on the Wilkinson scoreboard. Nice little left-hand shot by Scoop, and down it goes off the window with a kiss. Hard kiss.
A hard kiss, yeah, exactly. This is one of those things now we're looking at a 15-point game with just under 4 minutes. Need to create some kind of turnovers if you're Crimson. Obviously, they're in this little three-quarter court trap. I think they're going to try and maybe do some sideline traps. But at this point, you got to get going, Dev. The time's running out.
Got to be a little bit more aggressive. They got a long way to go to get in the bonus. They only have 3 team fouls.
Yeah, be a little more aggressive. I'd get out and do some trapping action to see if you can create some turnovers on the other end this time.
Johnson will block a shot, but Warner grabs the rebound, put back, and up and in it goes, and now a timeout on the floor. It's a full timeout. We'll take it. Timeout's brought to you by Cash Valley Bank on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Warriors 56 and the Mustangs 39 on the Fan Sports Network.
Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, Canyon Media, here for you.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Oh, cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. First General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, on the Fan Sports Network and on the live stream, coming at you on the fansportsnetwork.com. Coming at you on KSLSports.com, Region 10 Sports.tv. Lots of ways to access the game and all of our games here on the Fan all season long. And Houston Johnson going right to work, a little too strong. We got a jump ball call. Jump balls all season long, brought to you by Luke Udy and American Family Insurance. All right, we got one score update into the third quarter. Dixie having no problems with Hurricane tonight. They're up 55-33. Brecken Robinson has hit 4 3-pointers in that game.
We got another one over here, 45-38. The Thunder from Desert Hills are up on Cedar City at the end of the third quarter, Dev.
All right, Nets on Fire, giving you our Region 10 updates. You want to take your training to the next level, go to netsonfire.org. Check out all their training packages now available. Under 3 to go now. Who got that last bucket? Jordan Eaton with the bucket for the Mustangs. So they've got it back down to 15, but time is running out. Missed by the Warriors. Eaton launches it ahead to Barber, kick to the corner to Sweeten. Sweeten will drive in on Levitt, goes to a spin move, and got a pretty move for Jay Sweeten.
Just so athletic, and I tell you, it's one of those things you go, if you're a basketball coach, you go, you sure you don't want to play basketball full time? If you're the football coach, you're like, hey, don't spend too much time on that basketball court. We need you on football. Just so athletic, so physical, so quick.
Definitely love seeing multi-sport athletes here in Southern Utah still.
But Dev, we talked about it. The style of play for Snow Canyon, so methodical, so under control. It looks like they're in control every time they have the ball.
And they valued the ball a little bit more. They have done a better job taking care of it and not committing as many turnovers. I think +7 or 8 in the turnover department tonight is Coach Meacham and the Warriors, and that's been a big factor. To the middle of the floor, high arcing, soft touch, but it bounces off the iron, no good by Will Warner. Here comes Johnson over to Eaton. Barber in the corner. Eaton gives him a pick. They switch it nicely. Now Johnson will take a deep straightaway 3 short. Rebound, high rising. Owen Mackey. Here comes O. And he'll spin it back out.
And just not enough time left, Ev, at this point. Coach Meacham calls a timeout here, probably to just talk, hey, look, there's 1:29 left. We're up 13. Let's just make sure at this point that we don't do anything crazy. Let's not get this down to like 6 or 7 in a few seconds. Let's just take care of the basketball.
Hey, All-Star football, Gridiron University, the 14th and the 16th. Couple games each day. Go to Gridiron University, GIUfootball.com. You can see all the details, the schedules. You can get your ticket at the gate. They got freshman All-Star game, 8th grade All-Star game, senior showcase, and a college All-Star game. That'll be played on January 16th. All the games, Saturday the 14th, 16th at Crimson Cliffs High School on Martin Luther King weekend. Coming up, don't forget, we'll have our Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. We'll hand out some awards like our Jersey Mike's sub of the game and a bunch more. Snow Canyon is in control, up 56-43. Inbounds pass deflected out of bounds, so Mackey will trigger it back in right in front of the scorer's table.
And I think this is the hard part too, is even if you did get into it, you got 3 team fouls, you're a mile away from the bonus. Probably would have liked to see him maybe try and pick on a couple of subpar foul shooters to see if they can get him to the free throw line and get some extra possessions.
Yep, now they're fouling. Scoop Wright and Will Warner. That'll be team foul number 4, so still 3 away from the bonus. And just 1:23 on the clock.
Going to see some quick fouls here. Hope that they miss the front end of a 1-on-1. Maybe get a 3-pointer here to get it to 10. One more foul shot miss and get it to 7 and hope for a miracle after that.
This game is flying by. We're 1 hour and 9 minutes, and we're almost done with this game.
Yeah, we said it after the first half. It just moved so quick, partly because of the lack of foul calls. I think we had 8 fouls in the first half total combined.
Yeah.
Now we're at 13, so still not a lot from what we've seen. Usually you see them in the bonus, with about 6 or 7 minutes left in the end of the second and the end of the fourth quarter. We got Drake Carroll who subbed in here for Scoop. Probably a foul, defensive foul.
Oh, got a steal. Bear Levitt had deflected. It goes to Eaton. Eaton will stop and pop a straightaway 3. Got it! Jordan Eaton will not quit on this game.
What we just talked about, and you want to see if you can get one more of those, get this to 7 and give Snow Canyon something to think about.
17 now for Jordan Eaton to lead the Mustangs.
And a quiet 17. As we look at the replay here, Jordan spots up, identifies the line. You probably would like to see him shoot a few more of those.
Under
in this
control.
Game.
Didn't force it, didn't rush it, just so smooth.
And luckily they fouled Owen Mackey, but that was just the 6th team foul. So our next one will be in the bonus. If you're Crimson right now, you're going, okay, who is a 60 to 65% foul shooter? And then if they're not, who's the next closest guy that we can get and maybe get him to miss one?
Hamlin is about a 55% free throw. He'll go inside, and Sweeten tries to dunk. He's fouled. He wanted to rise high and throw down, denied at the rim. But you love the fight there by Jay Sweeten. He really wanted to two-hand that one.
I was a little surprised. I haven't seen him even dunk in warm-ups. I think maybe thought, I'll use a little adrenaline nitro boost. 56-46 for the Warriors over the Mustangs with just 2 ticks under a minute.
The best free throw shooter on this team is Cy Meacham. He's 80%. He's not in the game.
He's sitting on the bench for the second half.
Will Warner shoots 71%, and Owen Mackey is a 71% free throw shooter.
A little bit intriguing if he could have got both of these free throws, got it to 8, maybe get one more turnover, three-pointer, get it to 5 with 30 to 35 seconds left, but gonna need at least one of these and one more turnover or a missed foul shot.
Second Fabulous Freddy's free throw is good by Sweetie, splits the pair. Lead is down to 9, into Will Warner. Next foul they will be shooting. Oh, and almost a steal. Coach Fairborn reacting. He thought that was a clean poke away, but they whistle it.
Sometimes the refs will anticipate a little bit too much there. You probably want to give it one more second to see if there was enough contact there for a foul. But if you're Coach Meacham, you're like, absolutely, that was a foul.
So Warner, again, mentioned his free throw shooting percentage, 71%. And just a reminder, happy hour going on at Fabulous Freddy's from 5 to 7 every night. You get $5 off any car wash. Hey. And if you download their mobile app, you'll get their best wash, exterior wash, for free.
Offensive rebound on the front end of a one-on-one as good as a turnover. More importantly, for the fans at home and around the region, the Warriors have just crossed 56, which means what, Dev?
You can head to Yogurtland for the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert. 5 ounces free yogurt for everybody. It is in effect tonight. Compliments of the Snow Canyon Warriors here at home in the jungle.
Got to tell Nate Staley, who's watching at home, get off the couch and go get some free yogurt, Staley.
Yeah, tell him we'll meet him there. 50 seconds exactly left in this game. Free throw pushes the lead back up to 10. How about Will Warner? Quiet, sneaky 16 tonight for Will.
Super solid. I've been really impressed with all the guard play of Snow Canyon. Just so under control and so disciplined. Always waiting for what they want.
And that 3 won't go. Rebound, Owen Mackey. Mackey has 17, Warner has 17. So they've combined for 34 of the 58 Warrior points tonight. Steal by Barbin. Cross-court pass intercepted, and here comes Barbin. Trying to kick it over to Scoop. Scoop will take the 3, missed it, put back Eaton, got it. 25 seconds to go. Timeout, Coach Fairborn. It's a Cache Valley Bank timeout. It's a full timeout. And we will take a 30. Don't want to miss anything. 30-second timeout. Back for the finish on the Fan Sports Network, again on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Warriors 58, Mustangs 49. All right, welcome back to the jungle. Lead is 9, Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist. Our pleasure to bring you the first region night of action. Right now, Desert Hills is leading in a close one. That one started fourth quarter about 4 minutes ago, so probably midway through the fourth quarter. Dixie was up 20 plus on Hurricane over at the hangar tonight. So if scores hold up, Snow Canyon, Desert Hills, and Dixie will win the openers. Pineview's got the bye. They'll play Snow Canyon next on Friday over at the pit. The old pit, the old stomping grounds, huh, Ben?
The old stomping grounds over there. Of course, they've changed a lot. Coach Eves, I got an opportunity to play with him all those years ago. He was a year younger than I was, but he's done a great job. You know, hasn't always had the most talented kids, but always gets them to work hard. So a lot of credit for Coach Eves there. You know, Dev, this is interesting. I have people that asked me, you know, who was going to win this game, and after I told them my opinion, I asked them, and they said, yeah, I could kind of see maybe Crimson getting a 10-point win. As we stand here, it's most likely going to be a Warriors win by 10, and a great win for Coach Meacham and the Snow Canyon Warriors.
Yeah, you can't let the preseason record really, and you can't underestimate the heart of a champion. I mean, they know, you know, for a lot of these coaches, old school coaches like Doug Meacham, region championship means something. The state championship means everything, but you can't win region on opening night, but you sure can protect home court, and you do need to win at home in this region.
And I think we could look back and go, okay, you're missing Phoenix McWillis. That was a season ago. it's a good thing we got this win.
Yeah.
Because I think Crimson will just get better, as will Snow Canyon. But I think for Crimson, you know, this is the first time.
Down to 13. Johnson will pump fake and pass. Sweeten, nothing there. Warriors going to win this game. What will the final score be? Johnson turnaround 15-footer, rattles out, no good. Bear Levitt, good one-handed rebound. Bad pass, but that'll do it. Warriors win it tonight, 60-49. Your thoughts on a region win for the Warriors, defending state champs, off to a good start here, protecting home court?
I think it'll be interesting to see where Cy Meacham is in a couple of nights with his potential injury. But I think if you're Snow Canyon, you did what you were supposed to do, which is protect home court. You got a great win at home. If you're Crimson, you're probably a little bit disappointed that you didn't take advantage of that ability to get back in the first half into the ball game.
Just saw Owen Mackey give a big hug to Jordan Eaton. Those two worked hard on each other all night, guarding each other most of this night. That was kind of the matchup within the matchup. You look at the final statistics in this one, and Mackey goes for 17 tonight. So does Will Warner to pace the Warriors. Jordan Eaton actually scores 2 more than those two. He had 19 to lead all scorers tonight.
Pretty quiet 19.
Yeah, it really was. I agree. I mean, just, you know, hit that 3 late. Got to the free throw line a little bit there in the second half, which pushed him up to 19. But pretty efficient night. Didn't take as many shots. Either him or Mackey, as they probably could have if they wanted to be a little bit more selfish in a game like this.
And as we get the final stats, we'll wrap it up with an interesting stat. I think what we talked about was the key to the game early on was turnovers. And making sure that, you know, first region game that you're not too sloppy. I think it's going to be probably a 3 to 4 to 1 for Crimson versus Snow Canyon. But if you're the coach, you also can look back and you can say, hey, look, guys, we didn't take care of the basketball. Our defensive effort was there. We took some pretty good shots, but here's where we can. It's pretty easy if you're Coach Fairborn to go, okay, where could we improve? That's that one glaring category.
So again, 11-point victory, 60-49 on the Wilkinson scoreboard. Stick around. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. We'll clean it all up for you. We got a lot of awards to hand out. We'll run down all the final statistics. We'll get some other scores for you. Plus, we'll get you ready for the Friday night slate of more Region 10 basketball here on the Fan Sports Network. Back after this 2-minute break.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
It's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know from Fox Sports Southern Utah.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, every weekday from 4 to 6 on 99.5 FM in St. George and 93.1 FM or 1400 AM in Cedar City.
Miss the show? You can find us on your favorite podcast app by searching From the Bleachers or Fox Sports Southern Utah.
I'm Bo Bradshaw, owner of Bo's Auto Parts. I want to watch the game as well, so I'll make this quick. When you come into Bo's Auto Parts, our store mission is simple. Supply our customers with the best auto parts and the best customer service we can provide. Come on by and see if we can deliver.
There's not a bad seat in the house. It's From the Bleachers with Mark Musgrave and Caden Formaster on Fox Sports Southern Utah. Tune in weekdays from 4 to 6 for Region 10 high school sports, Utah Tech athletics, NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. First Ace Hardware is conveniently located in St. George on the corner of Bluff Street and St. George Boulevard with 30,000 square feet of lawn and garden, paint, tools, fabrics, sporting goods, and the most complete nut and bolt section in town. Hearst General Store, the Big Ace store on Bluff and on Main in Cedar City.
It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Mics are hot, baby. Welcome back. Devin Dixon, Ben Lindquist here on the Fan Sports Network. Thanks for watching and listening. This is the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry postgame show where Dr. Cody and his staff make your kids feel right at home with all your dental needs. New patient special always in effect. The exam, the x-rays, the cleaning, for one low price, just $79. Give them a call today. Lots to summarize, lots to talk about. With the combination of Will Warner tonight and Owen Mackey, plenty of offense. They had 17 each tonight. Warriors win by 11.
Yeah, again, we talked about it. Crimson's never really out of a basketball game just because of how hard they work defensively. But this one, they just dug too much of a hole with the turnovers. And Snow Canyon, with no shot clock, is going to make them pay just because they're so methodical. They're so disciplined on offense, and they just don't turn the ball over, and they find a way to get good shots.
Jordan Eaton had 19. We'll run down some of our Adams Wealth Advisor statistics for you, and then we can hand out some awards tonight. A lot of awards to hand out. Actually, it'd be difficult to pick our Hearst Ace Hardware player of the game tonight between Owen Mackey and Will Warner. You look at some of the other scoring for Snow Canyon. Cy Meacham, again, has 7 points in the first half. Apparent low back injury, we're guessing, did not play in the second half.
And that'll be an interesting one to watch this week because you're going to need him and his shooting to compete in the region. But it looked like he was smiling down there most of the game. It looked like maybe just precaution.
That's what I was thinking too. Luke Hamlin had a good game tonight. He had 7, had some good passes. I thought he brought some good floor play for Coach Meach.
The guards for Snow Canyon were the difference tonight. Where Crimson struggled with turning the ball over, Snow Canyon was so disciplined and just waited for the right opportunity to find the right guy to shoot it. You talk about just time and score, but also you want to make sure that the right guy's shooting, and it's a you tip of the cap to the guard play for Snow Canyon.
7 points in the game tonight for Bear Levitt, and then Carter Murdoch had all 5 points right at the start of the second half when the game was only
Real
a 4-point
critical
lead.
stretch there, yeah. That's where it really slipped away quick for Crimson.
Let's start there. I think Carter Murdoch, probably the top nominee for our Jersey Mike sub of the game tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. That one sequence there where he hits the 3 right after Trevor Taylor hits it, and then they come down, they get the other 3. That's where you felt the momentum of the game switch.
If you were to give one for Crimson, probably Sean Feltz. I thought Big Sean did a nice couple of plays there. Didn't see extended minutes, but he maximized the minutes he did get.
Yeah, I like that. Sean with a great effort off the bench after a good JV game as well, where he was able to set the tone there with a couple dunks.
Always fun to talk about our player of the game tonight, but it's tough. It's got to be either Coe with Mackey or Warner. I never loved doing Coe, but they both had similar stat lines tonight.
Okay.
You expect Mackey to score more. They actually held him below his season average.
I think if you ask Owen, he's going to say, yeah, I just played okay.
He
would say give it to Will Warner, who I think
is deserving.
Set the tone from start to finish. I think Owen, obviously, they keyed in him on defense with Jordan Eaton on him, but I give it to Will Warner just because I think you're going to see someone like Owen Mackey get that player of the game so many times throughout the year.
You are.
Will Warner set the tone right out of the gate and got that just consistent right time and place, and really a couple of those key baskets when Crimson was trying to fight back in, calmly, collectedly, drove into the paint, made that one up and under. I think you give it to him.
Well, and just like Hearst Ace Hardware has a variety of products, Will Warner can help your team in a variety of ways. He does a little bit of everything, and Will Warner is your Hearst Ace Hardware player of the game tonight. Heart of Cedar City, heart of St. George, Ace is the place. Let's take a look at the AWP Playmaker play of the game. It's pretty easy. It's the sequence where Warner just really closed the third quarter out, and it all started with that monstrous one-handed slam.
Yeah, I think so far our dunk of the year, if we have something for that, let's go sell a dunk of the year, because on that left side, Owen Mackey, the jab middle, one bounce to the middle, ratchet it back, hammers it home on top of Houston Johnson.
It was with authority, folks. I mean, we'll get that out on social media so you can see that again. And for our television audience, we're getting you some highlights right now as well. But just a reminder, House of Jump, dunk of the game. You can text dunk to 833-644-2423. They're going to send you back a text that says you get 1 hour free jump time at House of Jump. That's our dunk of the game, but it's also our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker play of the game. But it was really the sequence there, because he had 8 points. We were kind of talking about when's Mackey going to take over, and that into the third quarter, he had 8 third quarter points. Boom, boom, boom.
Just hit the switch and turned it right on. And you can see, it's going to be interesting to see how he's guarded throughout the region. He's a guy that I think for Snow Canyon to really be able to be competitive in region, they're going to need a few more shots from him. He's going to have to be selfish, or a little more selfish for his standards.
That's where Meacham got hurt. You were right. He took that charge from Barbin, and that's where Meacham just got hurt for our
Looked like he just fell awkwardly there, and
maybe
probably again just being safe. One of those things, of course you want to make sure that these kids' health. It's just high school basketball at the end of the day.
That's probably, let's go with that. Cy Meacham charge, though, is our Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game.
I love it. And that's where things kind of turn, too.
Yeah. And then one other award, I'm trying to think what our other award is. I think we got through all the awards, but thanks to all of our great sponsors, Morgan Pest Control, another $60 donated to the Snow Canyon Warriors for their region win. This is the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. Final statistics for Crimson tonight. Again, Eaton had 19.
A quiet 19 for him.
8 for Scoop Johnson, but turnovers were a little high tonight for Scoop.
Yeah, I think he had 6 or 7 from what we could see on our stat sheet there.
Yep, Scoop had 6. That's too many for your starting point guards with region play here. You got to take care and value that basketball. He'll have to clean that up a little bit. 7 for Still Barbin. A lot of that came early. 5 for Big Sean off the bench. That's why he's our Jersey Mike sub of the game. 2 for Houston Johnson. 3 for Trevor Taylor. And 5 for Jay Sweeten. Those were the statistics tonight for Crimson in the 11-point loss. And here's the
that
Mackey
dunk again. Oh, my goodness.
With authority.
Throws the hammer down. I don't know who was more excited, us watching it or the crowd right below, as you could see in the camera angle there.
The jab step,
Here's
the help
again.
comes. He doesn't even care.
He's just too athletic. He gets off the ground too quick.
Smooth.
And then he comes right back with this 3 right here, Devin. I know that our radio listeners can't quite see that, but we're talking about that sequence where he was quiet, and then he just, boom, hits the switch, takes over, gets... Oh, it's just that's a D1 style of move.
Those
right there.
3 buckets are your combined Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker plays of the game, and Snow Canyon never really looked back. Yes, Crimson did cut it to single digits, but there was not enough time left for the Mustangs to really mount a serious comeback.
Yep, and as you look around the region, Devin, I think obviously we thought that Dixie game would be a 20-plus win. They end up winning by 30-ish.
The final, they poured it on at the end. And the final score in that one, 71-38. Dixie beats Hurricane. Lemke had 24 and 14 in that victory. And a final from Desert Hills, they beat Cedar by 5, 54-49. So Dixie and Snow Canyon both go over 55. Make sure you head over to Holbrook Asphalt, get your big score dessert tonight at St. George Yogurtland until they close. Final thoughts here, and we'll wrap up our Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. So the Warriors, the Flyers, and the Thunder. It's always nice to start region play with a victory.
I'm excited to see these two teams play throughout the region season, but especially excited to see these two square off against each other again, because I think that's where we're going to see where they're at. But I think if you're Crimson, we've talked about it, it's the turnovers. If you're Snow Canyon, it's like, okay, we're the defending state champions. This is where we set the tone for the rest of the region. Let's go see if we can get back-to-back this year and prove some people wrong.
Special shout out to our title sponsor, Boulevard Home. Appreciate all of our great local businessmen and women. If you hear them throughout the season, you need their products or services, go give them your business or a chance to earn your business. Couldn't get all these games on, all these simulcasts on without our great local partners.
Incredible effort from our local businesses. They really support not just our high school athletes, but our high schools in general. So huge thanks. We couldn't do this without them. Huge thanks to Matt Hamlin and his entire crew. Those guys just do such a great job with the replays and the production truck and our camera crew, our stats guy, Gage, CC back in the studio.
Yep, Rory's back there as well. Getting a crash course tonight. Great job, fellas, back there in the Fan Sports Network studios. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Friday night, Desert Hills Hurricane. See if Hurricane can respond, get a split this week. We'll see if the Thunder can go to 2-0. That'll be our next simulcast video with the audio for you right here on the Fan Sports Network. Until then, you guys have a great rest of your night. The final on the Wilkinson scoreboard, 60-49, where the defending state champs flex their muscles and beat Crimson tonight by 11. Good night from the jungle.